Happy Wednesday. Pastor Alyce here. So as Pastor Charlie said last Sunday, what on earth am I doing? I'm usually not the one you see here on Wednesdays to reflect on the previous Sunday's sermon, but here I am, called upon to reflect with you. In case you missed it, the title of Pastor Charlie's sermon was, "What on Earth Am I Doing?" Pastor Charlie talked about Peter boldly getting out of the boat on a rough sea and in response to Jesus saying, "Come," whereupon Peter, ever so briefly, walked on water. As I reflected on Pastor Charlie's own longing to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, I thought about an experience I had many years ago before I understood the meaning of the word wisdom. 4 of us were at Mariana Caverns in West Florida. They have a perfectly good and safe guided tour of their perfectly good main cave. But oh no, that was not exciting enough for the 4 of us daredevils. So throwing caution to the wind, spelunking on a whim, without any gear, and without telling anyone what we were doing. We crawled through narrow passages till we came to a somewhat open area where we could sit with our heads almost touching the roof of the cave. After a few moments, a bit of wisdom arrived, and I thought, what on earth am I doing? I realized what an incredible and stupid act this was. Unlike Peter, we were not responding to Jesus' word, "Come." We were just 4 foolish kids, and thankfully God protected us against ourselves. The words trust, focus, distraction, fear, and faith came to mind as I reflected on the sermon. I wonder if those were some of the words that might have come to your mind as well. I'm wondering if they did for you what they did for me. It helped me to understand the sermon a little bit better. You see, Peter first trusted Jesus, but then he got distracted and fear set in. And then he lost his focus and his faith on and in Jesus. Ever been there like Peter? I know I have. God calls you to do something a bit scary for you, kind of outside your wheelhouse, but you trust Jesus and you have faith. You jump in, but then it happens. What on earth am I doing? Focus on Jesus is gone, distraction and fear set in, and you are as lost as a ball in high weeds. But remember the rest of the message and the story? Peter had the good sense to yell out, "Jesus, save me!" And Jesus did just that. If Jesus calls you to step out of your boat and into the water with him, trust that Jesus is going to be there for you, with you, and will not fail you. We know the rest of Peter's story. It's one of boldness followed by cowardice, but it's also a story of Peter's faith that finally settled in fully and forcefully. And so Peter became the rock upon which Jesus built his church. I'm telling you and myself that Jesus will do no less for you and for me. Jumping out of perfectly good airplanes or spelunking without safety gear, while thrilling, isn't the same thing as Jesus calling and saying, "Come." When Jesus calls, all we need will be provided. Jesus is our boat, our anchor, our lighthouse, and our safe harbor. Whatever is keeping you from leaving your boat behind and following Jesus' words to come and do whatever he calls you to do, leave behind anything that is keeping you from jumping out of the boat. Give it to the Holy Spirit. Keep focused on Jesus and on your faith. Jesus will save you, I promise.